Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the official Nerd Talk channel. My name is Tyler, aka Modern Nerd, joined by my co-host AJ Reacts to. We are back for another episode of Originals versus Remakes, celebrating my 23rd birthday today. Today is my birthday, and just like last year, we're doing another Disney OVR because I don't know, it's the easy one. I don't know after this one, but it is an easy one. So I figured, last year we did 101 Dalmatians. I had a blast with that one, and I said, you know what? Beauty and the Beast seems to be the least offensive of these. So, well, let's do Beauty and the Beast. Yeah.
We
Okay.
did that.
Yeah. Um, Without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with the original 1991 classic, Beauty and the Beast. So the original Beauty and the Beast, like I said, was released in 1991. The prime pristine of the Renaissance era is directed by Gary Trousdale and Kirk Wise. Stars Paige O'Hara, Robbie Benson, Jesse Corti, Rex Everhart, Angela Lansbury, Jerry Orbach, and several other lovely people, and tells the simple story of a girl taking the place as prisoner of her father in a castle that is owned by a beast, and finding out that there is more to the beast than meets the eye. Not to sound like Optimus Prime, but so I saw Beauty and the Beast for the first time probably when the remake was coming out. This is not one that I grew up with. I grew up very much with Lion King, 101 Dalmatians, Aladdin, Lilo and Stitch. This was the one that I missed. I don't know how, but this is the one that I missed. And so I did not grow up with this movie. And so I don't really remember how I felt when I watched it for the remake when it came out, but I do remember us watching it. We watched it together, I think 2021 when if you guys remember on my channel when I did a huge ranking of all the Disney animated movies. We were going through them. We all watched this together. That was actually me and AJ's first time watching it, you know, observing it. And we collectively all were like, yo, this is amazing. Like, amazing. Um, and it is, it really speaks volumes that I didn't grow up with this movie, and yet it's as high as it is in my Disney, ranking. Some people might look at my ranking and AJ's ranking and say, "Well, how do you have Lilo and Stitch so high above Beauty and the Beast?" It's like, well, Lilo and Stitch is 2, and Beauty and the Beast is like 5. But you guys also got to remember that my top like 15 is all 4.5s and 5s. It's like picking my favorite kid. I love them all. you know, like the ones that are all 5 out of 5. You could tell me that's your favorite Disney movie. I'd be like, yeah, I believe you. But Beauty and the Beast, man. It's Beauty and the Beast. I love it. It is one of the few Disney animated movies. It is a perfect. It's one of the few movies to me. It's a perfect movie. Like I legit, I have no issues with it. The animation, hand drawn animation, needs to come back. It really does.
It's nothing like it,
It's
man.
nothing like it. It needs to come back. Like hand drawn animation, it screams so much. We get some amazing 3D animated. Spider Verse and Sony and them. That is like to me the next best thing. Like that. What I don't even know what it's called, but it's just amazing.
Mhm.
Um, some 3D CG animated movies are special to me, like Moana and Big Hero 6. I watched the Tangled. I watched those three, and I'm just like, dude, how do you do that? Like, I watch Moana, and it's like the way people feel about the Way of Water. And they're like, that's some of the most best water I've ever seen. Moana is some of the best animated water I've ever seen. Just like, holy crap. But just the hand drawn animation, I love it. I love looking at it. Everything just looks so alive and real, and just that era is just amazing, and I miss it. It's rumored that they're trying to go back to it. Please do. You want to get people back in the seats? That's one way to go about it. The songs in this movie are immaculate. I love all of them. I love all of them. Be Our Guest is a god tier song. I always say Be Prepared is like my favorite Disney song. Be Our Guest comes close to it. That, Friend Like Me, and Be Prepared. That's like Mount Rushmore. A fourth song would be like, I don't know, Everybody Wants to Be a Cat from Aristocats, because that's me. I love that song. Um, it's just it's a fun movie. You can throw it on and just have a good time with it. It doesn't make you feel miserable, it doesn't make you feel gloomy. It's fun. It's a lot like Aladdin, where it's just fun. There's not really a point where you're feeling miserable at all during the movie, and that's kind of the peak of the Renaissance era with Disney. You know, the only really movie that kind of makes you feel like that is Hunchback of Notre Dame, a little bit. Maybe Pocahontas, but that's just because Pocahontas is freaking boring. But you know, I love this movie. It's such an easy watch at 85 minutes. It's such an easy watch, and every time I watch it, I'm just like, man, how did it take me till I was 19 to watch this? I should have been pumping this VHS like crazy when I was a kid. But I absolutely love this movie.
Like Tyler said, we watched it together for the first time, both of us, like in 2021, and I was simply blown away. I was not expecting much from this movie because, spoiler alert, I'm not a huge fan of the live action remake, and I saw that before I saw the original. And I was like, I don't like Beauty and the Beast. I just don't like. It's not for me, you know. And that was me judging it before I even seen the original. Um, we watched that original, man. I just gotta praise the animators and the 2D hand drawn animation. I know Tyler touched on it, but that is the highlight of this movie for me. I love the how vibrant and colorful everything is and looks and feels. Um, this movie, it gets me in my feelings a little bit. Like it's emotional. I feel the connection between Belle and the Beast a lot, and there are a lot of different sequences that build that bond, and just kind of like, even if it's like underlying, it doesn't seem like they're building the bond. They're still doing it. And we'll talk about that when we get to similarities and differences. But yeah, like this movie actually makes me feel something. It is very high on my Disney ranking, but it's yeah, man, this is a fantastic film. I would go as far as to say it's a perfect film as well. 5 out of 5 for me. The animation and the just the emotion, you know, in this film. The music, it hits. It hits. Gaston, that's the villain of this film, and I think he's a very good villain. I think he has this characteristic about himself that is like menacing, kind of like entertaining and charismatic. But also like you just love to hate him, and the song Gaston, I love it, you know. And
Hmm.
as far as this rendition is concerned, I think it's like one of the best songs in, you know, Disney history. But yeah, like overall, this film it's a perfect film for me. 5 out of 5. I love it.
Moving on to the remake released in 2017 titled Beauty and the Beast. So the remake of Beauty and the Beast is directed by Bill Condon, and he has a wonderful filmography. He directed Candyman, Farewell to the Flesh, directed Dreamgirls, directed The Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2.
Okay.
Okay. I think we should be thanking everything holy. This movie is as competent as it is. Um, but this movie tells pretty much the same story with a egregiously bloated runtime. So, Beauty and the Beast 2017. I actually did see this before the original. But again, that I don't even remember if I finished the original when I watched it before the remake. But the remake I do remember watching, so let's chalk it up to I watched the remake before. Um, and I remembered really liking it, and I revisited it in 2022, and I remembered really liking it. Then I made the lovely decision of watching this and then the original, and oh, did I not love it? um, listen, um, do I not like this movie? No, I do like it. I think it is a good movie. There are very good things in it. But this is, while being one of the least offensive ones, this is the prime example of why I do not like the Disney live action remakes. For some reason, the 101 Dalmatians one, to me, is one, probably the only one that mostly captures the spirit of the original. And, you say, "Oh, what about Maleficent?" Maleficent is a good movie, but it doesn't capture the spirit of the original, and that's a good thing. Um, Little Mermaid, I remember being pretty good, but I haven't watched it since it came out. But this movie, let's start with the good. I think it's shot rather well. I think it looks expensive. I think what they do with the inanimate objects, I think works. It's obviously not as lively, but I think the little CGI faces. I think it works. I don't think they look demented and horrifying. I think it works. It looks better than CGIing a crab and a fish. Um, the songs to me, the ones that were in the original, are good. I think they're fine. Are they as good as the original? No, one is, but I think they mostly work. That I can sing along to them. I do like the Gaston rendition, even though it is different. I do like how they did it. I think it's kind of cute how they did it. I personally don't mind the castings in this movie. I think they're all fine. None of them are offensive. None of them are Aquafina as Scuttle and Little Mermaid. Um, I think everyone is fine. And that's kind of how I feel about this movie. It's fine. I don't hate this movie. This movie doesn't. It's not offensive to me. To me, this is a least offensive version of what the Aladdin remake is. That movie is offensive to me. That movie pisses me off. But this movie is kind of just, yeah, it's a worse version of something I love, but I can watch it and enjoy it at parts. I love the Be My Guest sequence. I think it's honestly amazing. It's so much fun. And it's funny, it kind of gives me flashbacks to the Friend Like Me sequence in the live action Aladdin, because that's the one part in that movie that I love. There's parts of this that I love too. I love the Beauty and the Beast sequence, the ballroom sequence. I think that's nice. Um, but again, it doesn't have that oomph that the original has, and it's par for the course with these live action remakes. None of these live action remakes are gonna be the better than the original. And it begs the question, why do they make them? Because this movie made $1 billion. That's why. Obviously, that's why they make them. You know, that's
Money.
why they're going to keep making them. They will never make, the only one that even sniffed the original was Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent, and that's because Sleeping Beauty is not good. So that doesn't count to me. Make one that's better than a Renaissance movie, then we'll talk. It's a harmless Disney live action remake. You know what you're getting into when you watch these things. I say that, and then I despise the Lilo and Stitch one, but um, it's fine. I think there's enough care into this one that it doesn't really piss me. Like, they don't change things to where I'm like, see, why would you go and do that? It doesn't really do anything that angers me. It's just, like I said, the lesser version of something I love. What are your thoughts on the remake?
So I have similar thoughts on the remake, but I like it a little less. The first time I watched this movie was in theaters, and it was my first impression of um this movie, Beauty and the Beast, and it was I always knew what Beauty and the Beast was. I knew the story. I knew, what happened, but I had never sat down and watched the original movie. So when watching this movie, um, I some of the songs I had never heard. I'm like, okay, these are decent, but not to get too much into comparing in this section, but the original just blows it out of the water every time with almost every single entity of this film. Um, One of the things is that it is extremely bloated. This movie is what 2 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. It
Yeah.
only needed to be an hour and 40 minutes most at most. I don't think it needed to push 2 hours or even go past it at all. Um, I think this movie is kind of drab. Like I just whenever I watch it, so this is the second time I watched it yesterday. Um, I just felt like lifeless. Like I didn't feel, the vibrancy that the original brought. Like the colors were a lot more muted. It was just not as vibrant and lifelike. And it's a live action remake, and it should be more lively, but it wasn't. So I don't know, like that aspect. Just I didn't love the filmmaking, the camera work, things like that. It was fine. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it was an all around bad movie. I'm gonna say it wasn't for me. Um, the camera work and things like that, CGI, fine. I don't love the way that the Beast looks in this movie, but other than that, the CGI I don't really have a problem with. It's just the fact that I'm kind of bored and checked out by about half an hour to 40 minutes into the movie. So whatever comes after that, that is mildly interesting, I'm just kind of checked out. I don't really I'm not really into it. So, the Be Our Guest sequence comes a little bit after that, and I'm like, it's a good song, it's a good rendition. Do I care about what's going on in this movie? I don't really. I It just makes me want to turn it off and put on the original. A lot of the times, a lot of the sequences, um, and I don't know. It's not a horrible movie. It's not like the worst thing I ever seen, but it is just not for me. It's like a 3 out of 5.
Moving on to the similarities between the two. Obviously, the movies are fairly similar. Similar story, similar writing.
Pretty much shot for shot.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yet the movie's over 2 hours. So is it really shot for shot?
So I said
That's the
pretty much. Like there are some things added, but there's a lot of things that are just like same lines. Like that.
yeah. You get all the same songs that were in the original in the live action, all the same characters, and I don't think they added any new characters. I think all the characters are transported the
Hmm.
same. All the characters, in terms of design and costumes, they're all the same, which I like. Um, yeah, it's mostly the same until it's not. So the difference is,
Real quick, with before you move on to differences, um, as far as like some of the scenes, there are a lot of the scenes that are the same. And I was going back to look at these as I was, like I was watching the original, and I was like, are the scenes in the remake the same? Especially the one I'm thinking of is when Belle is in the castle and she goes into the West Wing. She, sees the rose. She messes with it and stuff like that. And then he comes in, yells, "Get out!" And she, runs off. And um, she's outside, and the wolves like try to attack her. Beast comes out, saves her. All that happens. Then they go back. She tends to his wounds, things like that. I'm like, okay, does this happen in the remake? And I just watched the remake. Like I said, I was checked out. I went back, watched that scene. Everything happened very similarly. It happened the same way, but it just wasn't the emotion and the feeling behind it was not there. It was just felt empty. So yes, there are a lot of similar scenes, but they didn't give the same feeling. They didn't give that emotion. So
Moving on to the differences, the runtime. Original is an hour and 25 minutes. The remake is 2 hours and 10 minutes. Why? Why? I'll tell you why. Because
stretch it out.
I'll tell you why. Because in the remake, we have two new songs. We have that I can think of. I think there's a couple more. We have a song by the Beast, and then we have a song of which the inanimate objects become humans and start singing. Why? Why? I understand you don't want it to be shot for shot, but just
How to Train Your Dragon did it right.
the songs are not interesting. They're not bad songs, but I can't tell you a single lyric from either of those songs. Another major difference that I noticed, so in the original, her father makes the big chopping machine, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna go to the convention because like I'm gonna say like, hey, here's my machine. I'm gonna it's a contest, and that's the reason why he leaves to go into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
In the remake, this man doesn't even speak a line of dialogue. He's just like bye and leaves. I was like, what? The little teacup
Chip.
doesn't even come. Yeah, Chip. He doesn't even come and save Belle. One of the cutest scenes in the ring. Here we go. It doesn't even happen in the remake. Gaston, the song, is done differently in the remake. Um, I think I like it. It's the way they do Gaston in the remake. It's more of a Broadway version of the song, to where it kind of stops, goes, stops, goes, stops, goes, and I kind of like it. I kind of don't. It's very hit or miss. Um, Speaking of Gaston, his personality is the same, but his look is obviously different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Less broad.
it's obviously because Luke Evans is not, a tank. A lot of people said, "Oh, Henry Cavill should play him," and I'm like, "Well, I don't know if Henry Cavill could sing, so I don't know." But I do like Luke Evans as Gaston. I
I,
do.
I I found Gaston in the remake to be a little bit less charismatic. I felt like he was a lot more serious. Like there wasn't a whole lot of comedy behind him. Like there were
Hmm.
some, but like I feel like there was a lot more comedy and like characteristic behind him in the original. That's one difference that I noticed.
Yeah, I feel like her father is less of a presence in the remake than he is in the original.
100%.
Um, and because of that, when she takes her place, takes his place in the castle, it's kind of just like, okay, I'm going through the motions.
Sure.
Cool. Uh, One difference is the in the original, they tell the story very quickly about how the objects became inanimate, or the people became inanimate objects, and
Objects.
how the beast was cursed. In the remake, they fully show it,
They show the scene
which
where it happens.
which is fine. I don't hate that decision. That's fine.
Hmm.
Is it needed? No, but that's one of the changes to where it's like, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to make it feel different, sure.
Hmm.
Um, the Beast, he does not walk on all fours in the remake. He only walks on his hind legs, which it it does make him feel different. It makes him feel more like a person than an actual beast. Like in the original, you see him stalking and walking and stuff. You know, this is a small difference, but it is a difference. The scene where he's trying to get her to come to dinner, and then she's like, no. And then he's like, fine, then you can stay in there and starve. Like, it's dramatically funny, but it is funny because it's
Except
just like, Jesus. It's
in
like,
the
all
in,
right.
in the remake, he says, "Fine, be my guest." Say, yo, we really doing that? Okay.
Hut, hut, hut.
He said it. He said it. Oh, another difference is the design of the beast. I feel
Yes.
like the face of the beast in the remake was meant to be look a lot more human looking. Like it's like a human face on a beast's body and with horns, and the horns are like really big, and as you can see on the in the original up there, like the horns are like kind of smaller compared to like his face and head. But in this one it's like as big as his head. So that's the difference. And I feel like they're trying to do that to like make you feel a little bit more compassion towards him, make him like more human like in the face. But I don't really think it worked all the way. I don't know.
I don't hate the design, but I think that the big bulky horns throw me off. It's like,
Yeah.
well, that's kind of
Yeah.
terrifying. Um, LeFou. LeFou is a big difference in this movie because of his sexual preference, which I guess matters in a Disney movie, which was made a big deal when this movie came out. Um,
I didn't even
it's a
know his name,
difference.
honestly.
It's a
Le-
difference. Um, if that matters to you, it is a difference. Do I care? No. Um, but like his role is different because at the end he ends up switching sides. I guess because he's like, oh, I'm tired of getting beat up by Gaston. And I was just like, sure. And there's this horrible line from Gaston where like LeFou gets like trampled by a dresser or something, and he's like, Gaston, help me. He's like, no, it's time to be a hero.
no, he says it's hero time.
Oh yeah.
I said, yo, what? It's hero time? Okay. You didn't want to rework that one in the script? All right. But I do think LeFou has a bigger presence in the remake. He has like more of a characterization. He's kind of just like a henchman in the original. Even though he's just a henchman in the remake, he's got like more lines. He's got like more of a personality, a little bit more shine to him. So, I mean, if you like the character, he has a little bit more shine in the remake.
Um, this might be, you guys might have to correct this in the comments. I don't remember if this is true. I think Gaston dies a different way in this remake than he does in the live action. I mean, in the animated, I don't remember him falling off the cliff the same way he does in the animated one. Truthfully, I don't remember him dying at all. For all I know, he got eaten up by a dresser, and they were like, "Oh, he disappeared into the night." Maybe that's how checked out I was by the
I'm
end of this
so
movie.
checked out, bro. So checked out.
Um, what other differences? Um, the opening sequence, Belle's opening song, it is a little different. They like it goes on longer and it ends in different places.
And she picks it
And
back up like towards the second act of the movie, and it's like this song is still going. What y'all say? 5 other songs in between this song. What are you doing? Why does it keep
second
going?
reprisal, second
There's more
reprisal of
lyrics.
the
What are
opening
the
song.
lyrics? There's more lyrics. Come on.
The definitive version. It's obviously the remake. No.
Speak for
The
yourself.
the definitive version is obviously the original 1991
Hundred
Beauty and the
percent.
Beast.
100%.
It is a animated classic. It's a Renaissance classic, no question. And this remake further proves that Disney, for the love of God, please stop doing these.
And
Please.
I'm not gonna say that I hate the remake. I don't, but it's not one that I ever want to revisit. It's
I'll
just
watch Be
not.
Our Guest again.
I'll go back and just watch the original. Like that's the
I
better
mean,
version. That's what
it
I want to
is.
watch.
It is. But I'll go back and watch the Be Our Guest version because it's got a little bit of the oomph that the rest of the movie needs, of which it doesn't. But
Fair enough.
that is gonna do it for this episode of originals versus remakes. Cannot guarantee what the next episode will be, but
We're
we're going
working
to
on it, y'all. We're working on it.
we're gonna try to give you guys one soon. If we don't give you guys one in September, more than likely we will give you one or two in October. Um, we will see because you know how we go crazy in October. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a
We
like on the
we
video.
we might give
Uh,
you 5 again.
No. Uh, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for all notifications for future Nerd Talk live streams and videos. Also, follow our Instagram. The link is down below. We will see you on the next episode of Originals versus Remakes, everybody.